We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
Josh. Josh is the fellow who had pre-wired his whole house for audio and wanted a way to incorporate a subwoofer with a crossover into his living room audio zone. We suggested either using SVS Plus or Ultra Series subwoofer that can do all the crossover filtering itself, or using a MiniDSP. He would like to go the MiniDSP route, but he'd like some clarification on exactly how to connect everything. We'd also like to know whether he would need to run 2 RCA cables to the subwoofer, or whether only 1 RCA cable is necessary.
Yeah.
So I remember this.
Chromecast
vaguely.
Audios will be his source.
Right. And
So they're sending out a stereo RCA connection. That's what's coming out of them.
And that's going to go to the receiver, which is then going to send out.
He doesn't have any
It
receiver.
doesn't have any receiver.
It's all individual whole house audio. So yeah, what you could do here, you could have your Chromecast audio, its stereo RCA connections coming out of that, would plug directly into the 2 inputs of the MiniDSP.
Sure.
So the MiniDSP has 2 inputs and 4 outputs. So the 2 inputs will be your left and right. So you just plug them right in there. Now the MiniDSP is highly configurable. You can do all kinds of stuff in the MiniDSP. So what you're trying to do is set up a crossover. So the first thing you can do is actually sum together the left and the right. This is only going to be on one of those 4 outputs, but you're going to select output 1 or output 2, whatever you want. Output 1 and say sum together the left and the right, then apply a 24 decibel per octave low pass filter at, let's say, 80 hertz, because that's the most likely frequency. So that means everything below 80 hertz, you're going to have the 2 signals summed together. Everything below 80 hertz is coming out of there, and then everything above 80 hertz is getting filtered off at a rate of 24 decibels per octave. That's your subwoofer signal.
Yeah,
And
he
you
doesn't
now
have to do any of that, though. I mean, he just have it summed together, send it to the subwoofer, and the subwoofer crossover will do it. Right?
But why?
But I'm just saying, he could. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to do
You
all that.
could,
if
I
you want to.
guess.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
I
make sure that
suppose.
if you do that, don't set your subwoofer crossover. You have to turn that all the way up to high or disable it in whatever way. You don't want cascading crossovers. So
That's true. Yeah.
So make sure if you're doing it the way that Rob's describing, you take your subwoofer crossover, you turn it as high as possible. So if it's like 240 or whatever
Or if there's a bypass.
sometimes there's a bypass switch on it too.
You'd use the bypass. But the answer to that second part is you only need 1 RCA cable going to your subwoofer out of the MiniDSP, because it can absolutely sum together the left and right signals that are coming out of your Chromecast audio. Then for your speakers, you'll send the left input to one of the other outputs, output 2, output 3, output 4, whatever you want. On that one, you'll want to apply a 24 decibel per octave high pass filter at 80 hertz. So that way it's filtering out the bass below 80 hertz. And that output will then feed the amplifier, which is powering your whole house audio speaker, the left channel. And then you do the same thing for the right channel. Or maybe your whole house audio zones are in mono, in which case you can sum them together and send that mono output to however many amplifier channels and however many speakers you want, if you want to do it in mono. So the MiniDSP is highly configurable, and it's not like terribly complicated. It's all done with little drop-down menus.
That's nice.
That's all it is. It's little drop-down menus.
I have to play
in the
around with
software.
one of these days. I've never.
Oh,
never
it's
had a chance.
super fun. It's super easy. So yeah, no worries here. But yeah, you only need 1 RCA cable to your subwoofer, and then you can either feed the left signal directly to one of your whole house audio speakers with a 80 hertz high pass filter, or you could sum them together and send mono to all your speakers if you want to, all inside the MiniDSP. Very cool.
Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.